Let me guess, you've got a plan. When the first infection hits the news, you grab the bags, load the truck, and drive to that little cabin in the woods. You sit on the porch, breathe fresh air, and wait for the zombie problem to solve itself. That plan doesn't fail because you're weak. It fails because it's loud, predictable, and crowded. In a real collapse, a hideout isn't a building, it isn't a retreat. It's a system that keeps you fed, powered, protected, and sane. And above all, invisible. Because every outbreak has two predators, zombies and people. And I'll save you 10 minutes of cabin fantasy right now. The #1 hideout isn't a bunker, a farmhouse, or your buddy's off-grid spot. Welcome to the Anomaly Archives. If your job is keeping your family alive, you're in the right place. Ground rules: slow zombies, small group, limited gear, and the skills you have today, not the ones you wish you had. Let's begin. Number 5, a regional distribution center. And no, I did not say the store. The store is where the first horde forms. It's where infected strangers and terrified neighbors collide in one fluorescent-lit choke point, and everyone learns the same lesson at once. You want the machine behind the store, not the bait out front.
Most people hear warehouse and imagine a big empty room. What it actually is a system designed to move resources through chaos. And chaos is what gets you detected. A distribution center gives you structure you can't improvise. Vertical racking that gets critical supplies off the floor and out of the crush. Hard barriers, cages, and controlled corridors that force movement through predictable paths. That matters because you don't survive zombies by being brave. You survive by not being found in the first place. It also gives you the quiet tools of survival. Containers, carts, straps, packaging, storage logic. The boring infrastructure that turns scavenging into rationing and rationing into calm. Do you know what breaks a group faster than hunger? Wasting half a day tearing apart piles for one item while everyone gets louder, sloppier, and more visible. Now the catch, these places are magnets. Zombies drift toward noise and activity, and desperate people drift toward opportunity. So you don't fall in love with it, you use it as a staging base. You take what multiplies your options, and you leave before your presence becomes a signal. Because when the magnet starts humming, you want an exit that isn't a highway packed with panic. Which brings us to mobility. Number 4, a small inland marina or boatyard. Everyone loves the island plan. Most people can't handle a launch in wind without turning it into a crisis, and crises are how you get detected. Forget the ocean, we're talking about inland mobility.
When roads turn into funnels, when bridges choke, when intersections become feeding grounds for the infected and hunting grounds for opportunists, a river becomes a bypass. A marina gives you access to that bypass, and it gives you the maintenance ecosystem that keeps equipment alive when there are no second chances. Ropes, sealants, hardware, storage, tools, parts. A boatyard is quietly valuable because it's designed around upkeep. And in an outbreak, upkeep is the difference between we have a plan and we have a story. But here's the protector reality check. Water carries sound, water carries light. There's no back wall, no blind corner you can pretend doesn't exist. If you use a marina, you treat it like an exposed position. Quiet movement, light discipline, routine watch. Because zombies aren't the only thing listening. People are too. And people don't need to smell you to decide you have something worth taking. Now, if you like the idea of maintenance and controlled access, but you hate the exposure of open water, there's a land version that does the job even better. Number 3, a rail maintenance yard. This is the ugliest option on the list. Good. Ugly repels tourists, and tourists become problems. Rail sites exist for one reason: moving heavy things reliably and keeping systems working. That's survival in one sentence. You'll usually find fencing, controlled gates, industrial-grade repair capability, and a culture built around procedures. You'll find the kind of tools and parts that turn we hope into we can. The ability to reinforce, to repair, to fabricate, not glamorous, essential. Here's the myth: the best resource is firepower. The reality is maintenance.
Zombies are a pressure, infection is a pressure, weather is a pressure, and the group that can keep doors, generators, water, and routines functioning becomes the group that doesn't collapse from the inside. But here's the dad warning: this environment is hostile to children. Rust, sharp edges, heavy equipment, trip hazards everywhere. If you bring kids here, your job isn't just perimeter control. Your job is internal safety, safe zones, clear rules, separation between living space and workspace. If you can't build that separation, this location becomes a liability no matter how strong it looks. If you're a protector building for kids and not for ego, subscribe. This channel is for the decisions that still work when the adrenaline runs out. Now, let's move from tools and gates to the thing most people forget until it breaks them: Number 2, a community college or small university campus. People love this idea for the wrong reasons. They picture dramatic lab fantasies. Drop it. In a real outbreak, the smart move is almost always boring. You want a campus for 2 things: contained space and routine. A campus is a miniature city built for human needs: food services, storage, maintenance rooms, clinics, multiple buildings you can partition into controlled zones. But the real asset is psychological, the classroom. If you're protecting kids, you already know this. Fear is manageable. Boredom is destructive. A child can handle a scary week.
A child breaks during the quiet months if life becomes a formless loop of waiting and watching adults unravel. A campus lets you separate living from working. It lets you build schedules, roles, a sense of normal that keeps a family from bleeding discipline. Discipline is what keeps you quiet. Quiet is what keeps the horde from drifting your way. Quiet is what keeps other humans from noticing you exist. The risk is overreach. These places are too big. If you try to hold the entire campus with a small group, you'll fail. Pick one building, consolidate access, secure what you can actually staff. Expand only when you can support it without getting sloppy. Now we've covered supplies, mobility, maintenance, and routine. There's one layer left that decides whether your group lasts weeks or becomes a cautionary tale. Number 1, a municipal water facility. This is the one people hate because it isn't cinematic. It's pipes and fences and procedures. But the fastest way to die and collapse usually isn't a bite. It's dehydration, infection from dirty water, disease from failed sanitation. It's your own body becoming the problem. A water facility is built around clean water production, controlled access, redundancy, and monitoring. It's designed to keep functioning under stress, and that changes everything, because water isn't just drinking. Water is hygiene. Hygiene is infection control. Infection control is what keeps one sick kid from becoming a cascade that collapses your whole group. Now the adult truth. Critical infrastructure requires competence. These places are not toys. They can be hazardous.
Industrial chemicals, pressure systems, confined spaces, complex controls. If you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt your own people without a single zombie in sight. If it's staffed, you don't take it. You ask to join. You offer value: labor, security shifts, logistics discipline, anything that turns you into an asset instead of a burden. Because in a real outbreak, the most valuable currency isn't bravado, it's reliability. If it's unstaffed, treat that as a warning first, not an opportunity. Ask why, then decide. A fortress protects you from teeth. A water facility protects you from biology. And biology is what finishes most groups long after the first horde passes. So here's the filter. Amateurs pick hideouts that look cool on a map. Protectors pick systems that keep functioning when luck runs out, when infection spreads, when noise gets you detected, and when the most dangerous thing within 50 miles might be the people who noticed you still have clean water. Tell me which one you'd bet your family on, and what the first change would be to make it safe for kids. Stay quiet, stay capable.